Frankly, your little nostalgic field trip, was kind of pathetic.
Oh, well, shit! Welcome to Retro Reviews. My name is Jake, and today we are once again asking the age-old question.
What the fuck was Disney thinking?
I'm sure plenty of you remember this movie. Whether you remember every last detail or it was a weird fever dream. Anyway, I think it's time we revisit the film and ask ourselves, is The Country Bears a cult classic that taught us to be kinder, more accepting people? Or are talking animatronic bears creepy no matter what the context?
Welcome to the Blue House.
You leave him alone. He's a damn national treasure. What's a great way to ease your audience into watching an anthropomorphic bear sing and dance for an hour and a half? Country music. In the beginning of the movie, we're introduced to this ragtag group of bears who love one thing, rocking out. And we also meet their biggest fan, Beary. Beary, the bear. Do you see what they did there? Yeah. It's hilarious! Beary lives with his human family.
Really not that hungry.
Mom, am I adopted?
Of course not, honey.
And has trouble understanding why he doesn't look the same. Something just isn't right. Beary starts to question why he looks different thanks to his brother being a bag.
Way to go, doofus. You're like totally wrecking this family.
All the while, we're just supposed to believe that his parents taught this bear English and taught him how to walk on two legs. There's a lot of plot holes, okay? A lot of plot holes. Beary leaves town to try and find out where he really came from, and his brother kind of pushes him out the door anyways. But he hits the road, riding buses, hitchhiking, all of the above, trying to find his true calling. And this scene's like in Tenacious D, where he gets on the bus. Minus the pot. We do get a sweet little montage of Dex realizing that maybe he is just the world's shittiest brother, and his parents are distraught, crying and screaming, probably because their kid's gone. Then we see Beary show up to what I believe is like the Grand Ole Opry of the bear world, Country Bear Hall. And when he shows up, he overhears a banker arguing with one of the bears over fate of the hall.
People that owned the bank before you wouldn't mind if I got behind on my payments a month or two.
Then Beary meets Big Al, who breaks the bad news to him. Side note, Big Al is like the Eeyore of the group.
What's that?
A sign.
I am living for his character arc in this movie. So the Barringtons call the cops and report their son missing.
We'll find your brother for you. Here now. There we go. Now you're an honorary deputy.
Meanwhile, an unsuspecting Beary is just trying to get a grand tour of the Bear Hall by none other than Henry Taylor, the leader of the band. Let's not gloss over the biggest issue. The Bears only have 4 days to raise $20,000 to save the hall.
Yikes!
But that doesn't stop Beary, because while his parents are frantically searching for him, he has the idea to have this fundraiser to kind of bring life back to Country Bear Hall.
Wait a minute. I got it!
Big Al promises to make sure that the hall is ready to go for the concert, and also make sure that his grass is in tip-top shape.
Get off my grass! He was making a mess on my grass.
So, the Bears head on their way. Now, they clearly have the talent. But they seem to run into a recurring issue where the Bears are reluctant to join the band again. But Henry and Beary have a few tricks up their sleeves. We start with Henry trying to call Rip, who is their old band manager. Rip reluctantly says, sure, I'll help you out. And we find out he kind of might need the help.
The last time I'm going to tell you, you're going to have to leave the store.
Yeah, right, like I need you.
So Christopher Walken, the banker, comes back. Finds out the Bears are having a fundraiser, yada, 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 yada. Beary and Henry go out, and they're just spending the whole day getting the band back together. They also wager a bet with Queen Latifah at some point.
Now, if he wins, he owes me nothing. But if he loses,
I get to keep the Country Bear tour bus.
Yeah, let's just say the budget on this movie was very large. Sorry. Now, this is the point of the movie where people will be like, oh my god, country music, gross. But just listen to that fiddle. I'm getting distracted. Anyway, so the band hits the road while the cops look for Barry, all the while they're looking for their last member. Fred and Barry look through Barry's journal and take a glimpse into a talent show that initially was their big break. They beat out the competition, which was, let's just say, not necessarily the most talented person in the world. Armpit farting. After a fiddle competition and some convincing, the band gets yet another member, Zed, to join in on the fundraising venture. And everything seems to be going positively. That is until Honey Bunch's Bears finds the most miserable member, Tennessee. This bear's a fucking marriage counselor.
Least you're gonna be together. Not like me and Trixie.
Depressed about his cheating wife and hell-bent on getting her back, the Bears convince good old Tennessee to join in on the concert.
We're getting the band back together.
That is before they find out they're all wanted for kidnapping Barry. With the band back on the road and a concert to throw, all while being chased by the police, the Bears waste no time finding a place to rest and recoup. And while the boys take their time to relax, Barry calls his brother Dex and explains to him that he's found his greater purpose and that he's not kidnapped, that he's fine. I don't know about you, but if my brother called me saying that he wasn't kidnapped and that he's found his greater purpose, I'd immediately think that he was kidnapped and that he joined some cult.
All hail the bear.
Then they meet Ted, the last missing member of the band, and he wants nothing to do with them.
No.
The Bears crash what they believe to be Ted's wedding, only to find out that maybe the old Ted is in there somewhere. Deep down in there.
What makes you think I'd get back together with you guys?
I'm just kidding, Ted's a complete asshole. But that's not gonna stop Fred.
This ain't right.
He goes out to find Ted singing.
It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. It's not unusual.
That's a freebie. The next one you gotta pay for it.
Oh, I want to die.
So yeah, Ted is a wedding singer. And Fred finds the best way to get him in on the action.
Your family. Then you're going.
Just knocking him cold. After fighting with him and calling out the band for not being a family.
This isn't a family. 'Cause the people who love you no matter what, that's your family.
Barry just walks back home. Which makes me think, how fucking close was he? I mean, he left and then arrived during the daytime, so it couldn't have been that long of a walk. And if my math is right, I mean, what happened? Okay. The band finds out how much they mean to Barry after they find his backpack and realize that they all let him down.
My hero is really heroes, and my heroes are the Country Bears.
And after feeling like colossal jerks, the band heads over to try to make him feel better. And it all starts with the biggest jerk of them all, Ted.
Really, I want to tell you that I'm sorry.
Oh, they're so sweet. They made amends. The only problem is that Christopher Walken is fucking crazy and kidnapped all the rest of the band, hell-bent on exacting his revenge.
You ruined my life!
Whatever revenge that is, we don't know.
What are you talking about?
This!
Take it away, Chris. I have no clue where this movie went. So anyway, the Barringtons find him thanks to a GPS tracker that Dex had on his brother's backpack the entire time. But they all get back on the road in no time. Barry and his brother finally seem to get along, leading us into a montage of some of the creepiest, most lifeless Polaroid pictures I have ever seen.
Day will be for friend everything. Making friends.
Alas, they do get to the venue, and the banker has paid off Rip, leaving them with no crowd, no fans, no lights, no nothing.
The place is dead.
Or so they thought.
Didn't want anyone parking on my grass out front.
Thanks to sweet old Big Al, the Bears are finally given a chance to save Country Bear Hall, and Barry is finally given a chance to rock out with his idols.
Yeah, Barry. You're one of us now.
A happy ending and a killer performance. My final thoughts on the Country Bears are as follows. Creepy? Sure. But once you get over the animatronics and the puppetry and the talking bears and really sink your attention into this movie, you'll find a wonderfully witty, creative, and socially proactive film about following your heart and finding your greater purpose, if you will. Aww. So cute. Well, that's it for me here at Retro Reviews. Comment down below what movie you'd like to see next. And remember to subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every single time we post a video. Be kind, rewind. Sometimes you might just miss something. See you next time.
Self-destruct sequence activated. Detonating.